Good morning, everyone. This is Miss T. I hope you're all doing well, that you had a good evening, slept well, and woke up this morning in good spirits, good mind, spent some time with the Lord and ready for your day. We should all be grateful. We should all have gotten up this morning and thank God for waking us up, for keeping us safe. There were some people who went to sleep last night and didn't wake up this morning. And for that, we should be truly grateful. We all don't know when our time is time for us to go. Um, so I would just say that we stay ready um, to meet Jesus. Today, what I wanted to discuss, I have um, I have been I have talked about me having therapists and things like that. But when I had one therapist that I felt that she was helping me get through some stuff. But after that, it was like they were repeating or asking me to repeat things over and over again. So I didn't feel like I was getting anything accomplished. I don't know how long, if you're in therapy, how long that you should be there. I guess until you're either healed or manageable. I don't know. But I don't go because I didn't see any I didn't see any help. I didn't see what I was getting out of it. So I read a lot about different personalities because I am so confused about all of these different types of names and labels that they put on people that I have never heard before. And so it seems like everything that you go through or everything that you do, whatever your personality type is, whatever that you have a label. I'm like, I was reading narcissist and it said everyone has a little narcissism in them. You're just on a spectrum. There's a label, I can't think of the name, but it's called, I mean, it's a, you feel like your whatever you accomplish wasn't by your own uh your own abilities. You feel like a fraud. I can't think of the name. You're actually doing these things, you actually are accomplishing these things, but you don't feel like it was because of your talent. It was by luck or by whatever. And I would think is that low self-esteem, but they call it something else. So there's a name for that. Um, Now, autism, I do believe uh, that's real. I believe that's real. There's a spectrum for that because I know I have some autism children in my family. But as far as all of these labels for adults, where do they come from? Who are they studying? I mean, when did this come about? Have we changed because has the way, the environment, the food, or whatever? Um, if you have confidence, now, if you have confidence and you have high self-esteem, you feel good about yourself. You're a narcissist, but that's normal. That's a normal um, amount of narcissism that you have self-pride that you think you're smart, and not overly, that you're not um, smarter than everyone else, but you feel capable of doing things. You are a narcissist. But those are good qualities of a narcissist, excuse me. If you feel better, like you're better than everyone else and no one else is on your same level, and you're a narcissist on a different scale. If you feel like people's lives don't matter, you're either a psychopath or a social path. If you feel like everything around you is just dark, and you don't feel anything happy, or you don't feel anything that's exciting, the sun is not exciting or pretty to look at, nothing, you're a manic depressive. If you are shell shocked, or you get easily if you're easily afraid, or your loud noises make you scared, or different things, then you have PTSD. If you can't be still, your mind continues to go, and you don't seem to relax, you always want to be doing something, you have ADHD. And there's others. So now I'm wondering if these things have been developed for another reason. Who other than autism, I'm not putting that in that, because I truly believe that is a issue. Well, with kids, I know. If adults have it, I'm sure they would, because I believe it's a real thing. They had me believing that I had it, and if I do, I've lived with it all my life, and so what would I what would I do to change it? I mean, that's just a part of me. That's just me, my personality, or whatever. But all these other labels that have been put out here, the reason why I am skeptical, and I'm not saying that anyone who has been diagnosed with anything, I'm not saying that it's not true. What I'm saying is, who are they studying? Who do they study to come up with all these different labels? What if you have all of them what if you have a piece of all of them, then what are you labeled as? What if then what happens? I believe because of sin and all the evilness that is going on in the world, what we've had to endure through our lives has caused us to have just different things happen. You might be scared of things happening. I remember my grandmother used to be just so scared of everything, but I don't remember her telling me she had a disorder. She just didn't like storms, and that was usually elderly black people, where they came from or however they were raised. They were told, when there's lightning, that you don't talk on the phone or get by a window, if there's a storm, different things. And I don't never remember them saying that was some type of disorder. I just think that was what they were told. That was a myth. I'm not a myth, but that's what they were told when they were younger. Maybe someone, something happened to somebody on when they were talking on the phone and lightning came through. I don't know. So maybe that was just something that they all felt that was a bad thing to do. And, just what I don't want, what I'm trying to get people to understand is I don't think we need people, because your mind is a very, very powerful thing. I believe you can do things with your mind. Your mind will make you do things if you truly believe in those. They can turn you into whatever you're thinking. You have this ability to make your mind play tricks on you. So if someone's telling you that you have this form of depression, in your mind, after they tell you that, do you then act out these things? Do you then feel like, oh, I'm so tired and I need to lay down and I don't want to get out of the bed and I don't want, is this when they put the label on you? Is that when this is what you become? I know that people can go to the doctor and tell them, I've been having problems going to sleep or staying to sleep, or being tired in the morning, or whatever. And the doctor, because they have so many choices of disorder, can just spin a wheel and tell you you have lack of sleep apnea or whatever, and then label you. And then once they label you, your mind, when you put that in your mind, it creates your symptoms for you. It will make you tired. You'll believe you're tired. You'll believe, everybody is not going to feel 100% every day. There's certain things that happen that you might, not feel so good that day. People have stress. Stress is real. Because you have a lot of things to do in your life. You have jobs, you have deadlines to meet, you have food to prepare for your family, you have bills to pay, you do have stress, but it doesn't have to make you be labeled and then filled with medication because of it. For some reason, I feel, because I need to understand where all of these labels came from, and did people have these labels before? Did they just pop up? I just don't know. All of a sudden, just things happen, just are here, and it's just like the technology. I can remember when we didn't have a cell phone, and it was just here. It just seems like the closer, the worse the world gets, new things just come about to make us feel, to just add on to what we're already dealing with. Instead of a doctor telling you, oh, if you haven't slept, maybe you need to wake up at a different time, make sure that you don't eat after this time of the day, or not drink after we don't have to feel like these are our burdens that we're dragging around, just because we feel this way. And then maybe because your system was off, you were getting over a cold, and so in order for your system to get back in order, you were a little tired or something was off, and then you go to the doctor, and now after that you have a lifelong diagnosis. Doctors are here to help us when we're sick, but we also need to be aware that some of the things that we are dealing with is because of the world, the evilness in the world, the sin in the world, the devil who wants to play games with us, who wants to trick us into thinking things are when they're not. He is a liar. He is a con artist. He is here to wreak havoc in your life. He wants to make you believe that you're insane or sick. He wants you to think that Jesus is turned his back on you, that you're so full of sin that you can't be saved. He wants you to stop believing. He doesn't want you to start believing. There's just so many things. And then when we get people, this is what I do every time. When I had to have my gallbladder removed, and I had no problem asking, I might have told this story before, asking the surgeon, the anesthesiologist, the nurses, if they believe in God. And they all said yes. And they were not, they were like, that's no problem, because I understand, that's what I wanted to. If you believe in God, then we're all on the same page here, because whether I go into surgery and I go under anesthesia, oh my goodness, you know what I'm saying, and the person who is handling that makes a mistake that day and gives me too much, I might not wake up. So I asked if I could pray with them, and they allowed me to do that. So I went to, before that, I was, nervous because nobody wants to go under. And so after I did that, I knew I felt better. I felt fine. I was ready for my surgery. I was, prepared, to, go into surgery without any type of bad thoughts or being scared or anything like that. But what we don't want is to have false things put in our minds so that it can cause other things. Now, the doctor may tell you that you have, there's another defiant OP something where you have, where you don't take kindly to people telling you what to do. Is that something like your parents, or your parents tell you what to do, your teachers tell you? I'm just not understanding. Where are these new words coming from? Is it because if you feel like you're going to stand up for yourself or stand up for your rights, you're defiant? I don't know. There's these titles, some of them sound made up to me, sound ridiculous to me. I believe, and that's just me. People know how they feel and what they're going through and what they need. And And then I do believe that it's planted in your head that this is what you have, this is why you act like this, and this is how we're going to treat it. I just think that before you let yourself or let someone tell you what your mind is doing, what you are feeling, and what you are thinking, that you continue to pray. Don't allow a snap decision to change your life, because you can now, when you get diagnosed with things, that can be used against you and other things. Suppose you're trying to get a job that you have to have a steady hand and a steady, think on your feet, and then they have in your chart that you are manic depressive or whatever, ADHD, and now you can't get the job because that's what they labeled you as, and that is going to change your life. So we just need to, we weren't made, when God created us, he didn't create us to be evil. He didn't create us to be mean. He didn't create us to be, just weak-minded. All the words that they want to use when a person they think is not all together. So as the years as the years go by and time is going by and the time is getting closer, we've been beat down by sin. We have been conned by other people. We have been told we've been told our whole lives who we are and what we are. We've been the N words. We've been unintelligent. We've been we've been teachable. We've been thieves, liars. We've been dirty, and the women have been loose, and the men are thieves, and just every bad thing in the book. Every bad word that has been made up, I'm pretty sure they made it up just so they can label black people that, or people of color. Did we allow them to put those labels on us? No, we did not. We stood up. We showed them that we're educated people. We've showed them that we can invent things with our minds. We showed them that we are loving people, that we have pride, that we're not what's the word, timid, that it's very hard to break our spirit. So those labels that they put on us, we broke them. We shattered those myths and those labels. Why are we now allowing them to tell us what we are, and then we believe it and make ourselves worse? Of course you're going to be tired. Of course you're going to sometimes not feel like yourself. Sometimes you're going to cry. for no reason. Sometimes you're going to feel angry for no reason that we think is no reason. Sometimes you're going to just feel like being alone because you're tired of, you just want to be alone. Now, if these things are not an everyday thing and they come once, every so often, and it's just life. It's just life. Life is not great in this world that we're living in. Everything we see is negative, and all the wars and all of the, all the danger around us, all that is seeping in. It doesn't make you crazy. It makes you have to seek the Lord. It makes you have to stay with the Lord to understand that there is no way to fight all of this without Him. Because if you're trying to do it yourself, of course you could become what label or whatever label they're trying to make you. If you're not a person that doesn't sit around thinking about ways to unalive people, if you're not a person who doesn't sit around thinking about ways to SA people or to abuse children or those kind of things, you are just a person living in a world of sin, hate, and evil. Some other, the other people may just have given into sin or given into the devil or given into the whatever he's putting in their minds, or, I just feel like there is just too much control. It's just too much information being put out, and we're supposed to accept it and without questioning. We had, when we started the COVID, we weren't told. All we were told is there is something out there that's killing. Well, when I heard about it, it was a disease that they had found on a cruise ship or something. It was really taking over elderly people. There was people in the elderly homes that were passing away here. That's how we learned about it. Nobody knew really what it was. Nobody knew where it came from. And then we were told we were to, quarantine and not be around people. Now, that's a scary thing in itself. There's a disease out here that's taking the lives of people, and no one knows how, why, and go home and stay there and be scared because you don't have any other information but that. So you go home and you sit in the house day after day after day, and your mind is wandering, and then you're wondering if you still, then here comes the people's businesses are closing because they're, they can't do business, and then there's more stress on them for that, and they can't pay these bills, and then it just turned into a big giant thing. And then they came out with we have a vaccine that you need to take so that you don't get it. And if you don't want to get it, you need to take this vaccine. A vaccine that we just put out. We didn't know how it got tested and where it came from, because if you haven't found out how you can make a vaccine for us not to get the flu or the common cold, where did you come up with this vaccine in 15 minutes? But people were desperate. They were afraid. They didn't want to, you know, pass away. People were going in the hospitals and not coming out. It was just, people were just passing away, and they were telling you how if you are overweight, if you have diabetes, if you smoke, just basically planting all these things in your head. And so you ran off and you went and got the vaccine, and some people passed away after they got the vaccine, and some people, got it and felt like they were okay, and then they came back out with, you're going to need a second dose vaccination, and on and on and on. And then it got to the point where they're going to decide for you. You're mandatory in certain cities and with certain jobs. You're mandatory to take this vaccination. So if you have doctors and nurses and people of other areas within the medical field, or people with just in biology, whatever, labs, who are quitting their jobs because they refuse to take the vaccine, what does that tell you? They don't even trust it. They work in the medical field. I'm not saying that the vaccine is anything wrong with it. I'm not saying that it didn't save lives. I'm not saying that anything. I'm just saying that they get us in a frenzy. They put stuff out. They put labels. They give us half information. They tell us parts of things, and then they get us all of, just off our minds, because now we're worried and afraid and scared and don't know what's going to happen and what we're going to do. And then they tell us, we're going to give you this, and this should make you better, and people run to go do it because they don't want to, get sick or whatever. And then after that, they really don't know. This is what I do. I pray to God. Show me, tell me, let me know, what am I to do? What am I to say? I can't make that decision. I can't decide because I don't know. You can't give someone a little bit of information and tell them in 15 minutes to make a decision. And it just doesn't work. So I'm pretty sure that there's a whole bunch of labels out there now. People have had to be confined in their homes. People were stressed out because their businesses were closing. They were going bankrupt. Some people had lost several people in their families. Just everything was going on. So I'm pretty sure they have new labels out, instead of just the fact that sin is everywhere. God had prepared us. He had told us what sin is like, what sin will do, what sin causes. And if we stay in the Lord and stay in the Word, the panic wouldn't come, because we would know what this is, why this is happening, where we're going from here. I really still don't know where it came from. I believe they said China. I don't know where it came from. Nobody really knows. But do we know that another one won't happen, that there's some kind of something else waiting dormant to come out and spread, and we don't know that. But the peace of mind for me is to know the word, to stay in the word. If I read in the Bible, the Bible doesn't tell you, the Bible tells you everything you need to know. The Bible tells you what is going to happen. The Bible tells you how you can resist the devil. The Bible tells you what's going to happen before Jesus comes. It tells you everything. If you stay in the word, if you stay in prayer, when they come out with all these things, they won't affect you. They won't affect you, because you know the word, because you know what it says. You already know what it says. God tells us that he will be there. God says he will wash your tears away. God says that he is your friend. God says that he hears you when you pray. God sends you a protective angel. God is with you all the time. All you have to do is call on him. He's been waiting for you to call on him. He will take your anxiety. He will take your PTSD. He will take your depression. He will take your autism. He will take your ADHD and whatever names and letters that they have decided to put out there and name you that. He will take those, because take them all away. If you don't believe him, try it. I have never, God has never let me down. Now, what God will do, he will give you, answer a prayer according to what you really do need, because we still don't really know how to maneuver this, how to figure out things that are going wrong in your life during this. He says, be in the world, but not of the world, which means you have to live here. You have to be on this planet. You have to, every day your life is here, but you don't have to participate in the world. You don't have to visit. You don't have to go anywhere that you feel is not appropriate. You don't have to watch anything that is not appropriate. You don't have to listen to any music that's not appropriate. You don't have to hang around people that you feel are not good for your life. You do not have to do any of those things. That still doesn't have to mean that you're going to be alone and lonely. There are people out there. There are plenty of people who have found the Lord and are happy in their lives. There's plenty of people out there looking for the Lord, and they're looking for someone that they can be, talk to and have someone in common that can share scriptures, have Bible studies with, to pray with, just so that you have something, someone feeling like you're feeling, to keep you up and give you strength while we're dealing through this these hard times. Somebody had told me, you can, like I said, everybody can learn something. I don't care how old you are and how long you are on this planet, you still can learn something. You still need to learn something. And people talk to me. Now, I don't go around. If you don't come to my uploads, people in my city know that I'm not, that I'm serving the Lord, because I usually am out in the community doing different things. I'm not, at one time, at different times, but I'm not always doing it in the name of religion, because like I said, people just need to first know that there's people that care about them. So a person can't really accept Jesus, can't really understand the Bible or understand what's going on when they're living on the street and they're hungry and they're cold and they have no family and no friends, and it feels like they're all alone and no one cares. So me going up to someone and who's who's in that situation and is laying on the ground, and me going up to them and saying, God loves you, really is not doing anything for them. Actually, it might turn them against. I mean, he loves me so much. This is where I am. So in order to show God's love, I have to make sure that person, if I chose to approach that person, I have to make sure that person gets a warm place, gets food in their stomach, gets help with whatever they need. And then once we have gotten that all taken care of, in between, while I'm doing this, I'm still, speaking about the Lord, but I'm not pressing the Lord down their throat or pressing the Lord at them. I'm bringing the Lord to them. I'm not doing this, sir. I'm letting you know that God brought me here. I didn't know why I was coming down this street. I didn't know why I turned this corner or why I came to you. That was God. And so he does love you because he brought me here. And so you also have to make sure that you, in some way, stay in touch with that person to make sure that things are going right with them. You don't want to help them and say God loves them and God's going to help, and then let them go. I mean, as far as you can let them go, because God's going to handle the rest. But I mean just to check on them to see how they're doing. That's what I mean. You can let them go, because God said just plant the seed. He didn't say stay with them. Once you've done all this and you've helped them, I want you to stay with them 24 hours. I want you to call them every day and give them a script. He didn't say any of that, because you can't save them. God is the only one that can change their hearts, can change their minds, can show them the light. You might mess all that up. And so thank goodness he doesn't require you to go that far. And so all I'm saying is just don't be afraid of everything that is going around you, what you're living around, what you see every day and hear about. Don't feel you have to listen to everyone is not of the Lord, and everyone does not care about you personally or how you feel or what you need. Don't let people label you what you're not, or give you a label that you're going to take along with you, and then by the time that you've just carried it with you, you are what they labeled you, because you don't have to be. You might not be. We are in the last days. You can't expect everyone to be happy and skipping around like we're following the yellow brick road. We can't expect everyone to just be jolly. Just be like, what is there to be so jolly about if you don't know the Lord? We know that we think money will make us better. I guess if you have money, it will take away all those labels. But we have been shown over and over again that couldn't be true, because people with millions of dollars are unaliving themselves. So money doesn't cure what what you don't have. It doesn't cure unhappiness. It doesn't cure depression. It doesn't cure anything, because if it did, that wouldn't be a statistic ever. People wouldn't just be selfish. I heard a man, oh my goodness, somebody bought a $500 million pet. And okay, of course, he has to have billions for him to afford to buy this $500 million pet. To do what with, I don't know, or maybe, I don't know. But if someone with $500 million had the love of the Lord, could you imagine what could happen with that? He cared more about human beings having proper food and nutrition, and we could wipe out poverty in a day if all the $500 million people who could afford a pet had the love of the Lord in their hearts. Just to say, we don't want anyone to suffer. We're America, and we need to make America great again, because I'm sure I'm not sure how we're supposed to do that, because like I said, I don't even remember when it was great. I know it was better times. There were better times. Back in the day, always was better times. It wasn't so, kids could play and outside and not have to worry about being kidnapped or whatever. So there were better times. But we also know that we have to get prepared for worse times than these, because we were told that. But we are also told that there will be a little peace. There will be some time where everything isn't going on. There's not a lot of evil things going on. Some wars will have been ceased. Economy may get better. Some leaders may make up or be friends, because right now, what we need to understand is all the other countries, their leaders don't care anything, do not like America. We have a name. We're bullies. We've been bullies for forever, we're evil people that come over and do strike zones or hospitals. Even if we were not doing those things, that's what's going to be, that's propaganda. So America's not liked. And when you get a group of leaders from different countries together and they, have a conversation about like, hey, why are we fighting each other? We need to all come together and, so we're not in a good light. They're not in a good light to us. Everyone is going behind people's backs and saying things in the, amongst each other, and then it gets accidentally slipped out, and it's horrible. And I know people are just, I can understand the of being afraid and not knowing what is coming, or not knowing, just not knowing. But I promise you, if you come to the Lord, if you just, I'm not even going to say come to the Lord, because you have to decide what is best for you. I'm saying if you just pick up the Bible and read the Bible, just start with that. You can say, oh, we've seen this, we've seen that, you can do that. And then maybe if you can just pray, if you don't know how to pray, just talk to him. Tell him what your fears are. Tell him how you don't know how to stop what you're doing, or you'd want to try to be a good person. Just try to be a good person. Try to get rid of things that you feel that you're doing bad in your life, and see if he won't talk back to you. I have absolutely no doubt that if you talk to the God, that he will not answer you and he will not come into your life. I can't say any other, but I have no doubt. I know what he has done for me. I know all the things that he has done, and I have sat here just in awe, I not believe, just like I can't believe this, really. God is real. The first time that you find out God is real, it is a turning point. It is, you kind of get scared. You kind of like are afraid, but then you get that feeling of relief, like we have a Savior. I can be saved. I can be helped. I don't have to live like this. I don't have to be like this. And ever since then, I found that one day that I found out God was real, my life has changed so much. I don't even wonder anymore. I don't even wonder how that happened anymore. I don't even guess. I don't even question. I don't even know anything. I wake up, I thank God for the day before he brought me through. And if God, I messed up, I ask that you forgive me and help me not to make that mistake again. But I'm telling you, I wouldn't lie. I wouldn't try to deceive anybody. I am so in awe of all that God has done, and all that he continues to do, and all that he will do in the future. And when you have that type of love in your heart, and you want other people to have that too. I love everybody, but I love my people because I know I don't have to know you personally to know some of the things that you've had to go through, some things that you've had to endure. I know other people have had to do worse, had to endure worse. I know my ancestors were brutalized, and I had to learn to forgive and forget that. But because we came from that place, I would want nothing more than for my people to feel that same peace and tranquility, and to know that someday that you won't have to be on this evil earth, because it's not your home. It's not where you're going to spend the rest of your eternal life. And if you just believe in him and hold on to him until the end, you will endure till the end. He will be coming back for us and giving us our promise that he went to make our home, prepare a home, a place for us to live forever in paradise. And I truly believe that. And no, I'm not delusional. I'm not I have no labels other than what they tried to label me with, what was my depression and I think PTSD, even though I've never been in the military, so I don't know where that came from. Yeah, but I don't let their labels define me, define who I am. Yes, I am going to be sad sometimes. Who is not going to be sad looking at this world, being in this world? Yeah, I am going to be a little uptight sometimes because you don't know, you have to live in this world, and there's people out there that are willing to take your life for no reason, or willing to do something to you because they're evil. And so, yeah, you might have a little, anxiety or whatever, but it's not who I am. I'm a God's child, and I believe that he watches over and protects me, and he sends my guardian angel to watch over and protect me. And I don't even know what he protected me from. I don't have to even know that. You don't have to know that. You had to worry about what, that was going to happen to me. Your life you'd just be a mess. He's protecting you. He's keeping you from harm. You don't even know. You just don't even know that yesterday that you were supposed to be, a car was going to hit you, and you weren't going to be here. But because of God's grace and his mercy, that car didn't come. It didn't come the exact time that it should have. And you're here. So I hope that everybody just is trying to change their mindset, trying to believe that there is something better than this, and not dwell on all of this. This is not paradise. This is not if you think this is paradise, this is not. I don't care what kind of car you drive. I don't care what kind of house you have. I don't care what jewelry you wear, what purses that you carry. I don't care what shoes you have on, this is not paradise. And that's about all I had to say. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Um, that good things happen to you in your life, that you are kind to others, that you just see somebody out, having a bad day. It might be raining and they might be just sitting out in the rain because they have nowhere to go. Maybe when you went into that store, they had umbrellas on sale and you came out with maybe an umbrella and a sandwich and something like that. And that person, when you walked away from that person, they said, "Thank you, Jesus, because that's all I asked for was an umbrella and a sandwich." So everyone have a blessed day, and until next time.